Today I'm gonna do a short tutorial on how you get the best quality footage out of your Mavic 2 Pro. Also, during the tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to correctly expose, color correct and apply LUTs. That will make your footage look more cinematic. So, the first thing that you will need before even launching your drone are some good ND filters. I usually use ND filters from DJI Tech, but you can use any other quality brand. Just make sure you get the NDPL ones, which stands for polarizing, because that helps a lot with the final image quality. For the camera settings, make sure you shoot everything in manual mode. Best would be to first judge for the outside light and then choose an ND filter accordingly. I usually use ND64 or 32 for sunny conditions, and if the weather is cloudy, I use ND16. For the sunset scenes, I use ND8 or I don't use an ND filter at all. The trick is to set your shutter speed to double your frame rate. So if you shoot 4K at 30 FPS, you will need your shutter speed to stay around 60. This way you'll get a more natural motion blur in your footage and your footage will look more cinematic. Another important thing is your white balance. Please set your white balance to a custom Kelvin, and 5500K is a great value. You should never shoot on auto white balance because it will be very difficult for you to color correct later in post. Also, try to keep your ISO to the lowest value to avoid noise in your footage. Set your color profile to D-Log-M and the color codec to H.265, which is 10-bit. For the style options, choose sharpness to +1, the contrast and saturation to 0. For the sharpest image quality, set your aperture to f4. To correctly expose, use the histogram to avoid overexposing, and I also encourage you to use the color display icon on the top right corner to help you judge the colors and exposure better. Also, you can activate the overexposure warning from the options menu, and that will show you the overexposed areas of your scenes. Make sure you do not overexpose because you will lose precious details in your highlights. To nail exposure, you can play with your shutter speed, but try to keep it in the 50 to 100 range. If you need to overexpose more, try to bump your ISO, but please do not go over 200 because you will start to introduce a lot of noise in your footage. Also, if you need to underexpose, better would be to increase your ND filter. Yeah, so that's it. Those are the best settings I use for the Mavic 2 Pro when I shoot 10-bit D-Log. Now let's go directly inside Premiere Pro, and I will quickly show you how to color correct and color grade the D-Log footage to make it look more cinematic. Okay guys, so as you can see, I have already loaded some scenes here in my timeline, and the first thing that I'm gonna do, I want to make sure I have the lumetri scopes here sorted on the top, and if you don't see this, just make sure you right click and choose Parade RGB. Next step is to create an adjustment layer and drag it here on top of your footage. On this adjustment layer, we're gonna add a LUT. From the Creative tab here on the right, click Browse. And yeah, I usually don't use 100% for the intensity of the LUT. I usually use it at 60 to 70%. So the next step is to basically color correct each and every clip individually. So the first thing that I want to do now, I'm going to try to fix the white balance of the clip. You can fix it from here, from the temperature slider, but also you can fix it from the curve section. So right now I'm going to show you how to fix the white balance from the curve section. In this clip, the red, as you can see, is a little bit off, so I'm going to try to fix that. Okay, that's fine. And The next thing that I want to do after fixing the white balance, I usually go to the basic correction tab. I'm going in the basic correction tab, and I'm almost always lowering my highlights, increasing the shadows a little bit, fixing the whites and the blacks. Add some contrast, just a little bit of saturation. Let's go to the next clip. On this one you can see the image is a little bit underexposed, so I'm gonna try to fix my shadows first. Also I want to try to fix the white balance from the curve section. Let's go to the reds and I'm gonna try to fix my reds. My blues. Then I'm gonna go to the basic correction tab again, lower my highlights, increasing the shadows, fixing my whites and black points, adding a bit of saturation, and maybe just a little bit of contrast. Yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next clip. On this one the white balance is quite okay. Let's try to fix it just a little bit more. Just like that. On the basic correction tab I'm gonna try to bring some more details in the clouds, and I'm gonna lower the highlights. Bring some details in the shadows, fixing my whites and my black points, adding a little bit of contrast, just a little bit of saturation. Next clip. Okay, on this one, because those two are very similar, I'm gonna try to fix the colors on this one and then copy the settings to the other one. So first I'm gonna try to fix the white balance again on this one. I'm gonna try to lower the reds. Increase the blues a little bit. And on the basic correction tab, of course, I want to lower the highlights, increase the shadows a little bit, fix the whites and the blacks. Adding some contrast, just a tad of saturation. And now let's copy those settings. Right click on the Lumetri and copy, and now go to the next clip, right click, click paste, boom. Let's go to the next clip. As you can see this clip, it's quite off in the white balance. So I'm gonna first try to fix it from the curve section. Then I'm gonna try to
warm the image a little bit more. Just like that. Let's go to the curves again. Try to fix the red more. Yeah, that's it. And right now in the basic correction tab, we're gonna drop our highlights, increase the shadows a little bit, fixing the whites and the blacks. And maybe just add some contrast and a bit of saturation. And the final one, I'm gonna try to fix the white balance in the curve section. Then on the basic correction, I want to lower my highlights. The whites and the blacks are pretty okay for me. I'm just gonna add some contrast. Okay, yeah, that's it. So one more trick I want to show you is that if your footage doesn't play smoothly, you can go to the sequence render in and out section here, and the software creates some previews that will help a lot with the playback speeds. So you can now grab your slider and scroll in your footage very easily, even though this is a 4K 10-bit footage, H.265.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. That was my tutorial for you today. I hope that you found it useful. Please check the description, there's a free LUT down below. And yeah, see you in the next tutorial. Bye.